Well, hello YouTubers, just out for a quick tootle on the bike. I think I've mentioned I've been walking my dog up at Rough Marsh, so I thought I'd do a bit of a ride up there tonight and visit two of the more interesting parts of that neck of the woods. You know, from an industrial history point of view, there's a lot of interesting stuff up there. So, like I say, just going to have a tootle up there. It's been a hot day today, like, I was out with the dog earlier. My God, I was bloody roasting. It's actually cooled down a little bit now, thankfully. But, like, I put me big jacket on, and I've put it on because it's got vents in it. It's not doing a very good job, I have to say. Mind you, I suppose it'd be better than my leather jackets. There was a bird. I was seeing an aeroplane there. Yeah, so that's where we're headed tonight. So it's all along the Solway Estuary, basically. I'm going to ride and like I say, point out a few interesting things up there. It's not the best time of night to go for a ride, like, it has to be said. 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. And let's face it, everybody's in a rush to get home. Yeah, so I've been kind of looking at some bikes that have been coming into KC Superbikes recently. There was, would you believe it, a Harley Davidson 883 iron that I was kind of looking at just on the website, like, and thinking, should I have gone in and have a test drive of that. I've always liked the look of them, you know what I mean? But you know, obviously, you know, that's, for me, the look of a bike is one of the most important things, you know what I mean? If I can step into the garage and go, fucking hell, look at that, you know, that's great, eh? I'm quite happy with that. You know, never mind whether it handles like a fucking dog, or, you know, has no power whatsoever, or as long as it looks fucking cool. That's the first thing for me, like. And they do look cool. Though having said that, I dare say if I had one and I was sitting on it, it would look like a fucking monkey bike, like, you know, 6'2" and what have you. It'll look tiny, yeah. But another thing is, there's a Katana in there, 0 miles, pre-registered, 8 grand. 8 grand, like. It hasn't got anything on it like, you know, Katana body kits or anything like that. But, you know what I mean, 8 grand, like. And I'm very tempted to go in tomorrow and have a look. Well, I don't really need to have a look, and it's black. It's not the silver one, it's the black one, which I really, really like. So I might just go and have a look. There's 8 grand. I could do without a computer for a while. It just depends how much you'd give us for this, like, you'd have to give us pretty much what I paid for it, really. This bridge here is one of the bridges that used to go over the canal and the railway that used to run here. There used to be a canal that ran from Port Carlisle all the way into Carlisle. is one of the things that we're going to have a look at when we get to Port Carlisle. The canal basin down there. Obviously, when the railways came, the canal was kaput really, and they pretty much put the railway on the same path as what the canal was on, and you can kind of see that as you go along the marsh. But I'll stop in one or two of the places. But yes, back to this Katana. I'm very, very tempted. I know I'm thinking of getting another bike, and you know, as a second bike, you know, something like a Royal Enfield or something. And but I mean, like, you know, I've always liked the Katana, you know what I mean? It's one of those bikes that looks, to me, looks absolutely awesome. You know, that is a bike that I could walk in the garage and go, oh, I like that. And I've already got the carpet in the garage, you know, the genuine accessory Suzuki Katana carpet, which I put this on. But yeah, I'm sorely tempted, like, but like I say, it depends on what he gives us, what he would be prepared to give us for this. But then again, you know what I mean, this is a fucking great bike. Like, I absolutely love this bike. You know, and there's a lot of people that say that, you know, the 1,000, it's a bit much really. Fucking move over, you dick. I don't know, some people, So yeah, so that's something that I'm thinking about. I think it'd probably be better just to keep on of this for the time being, like, 'cause like I say, I do love this bike, like, it's awesome. It's a lovely motor. We're doing 26:30 according to this. You get a lot of people speeding through these villages on the way home from work, which I think is a bit mad, like, because, you know, most of these people that are speeding through these villages live in one of these villages, I'm sure if somebody came through their village speed and ran over one of their bairns, they wouldn't be too happy about it. They certainly wouldn't be patting them on the shoulder anyway. This is another part where the road crossed the old railway. Bridge is long since gone, like. Oh, this is Bruff by Sands, this village here. Wasn't far from here that William I Longshanks actually died. He actually died on Bruff Marsh, not far away, maybe a mile away from here. There's actually a monument there for him, and there's also a statue at the pub. I'll show you that as we go by. I should probably take you down to see the monument, but it's a bit of a walk. There you go, that statue there, William Longshanks. It's a nice village though. Yeah, the railway and the canal ran behind this village. Just off to our left there's another bridge that used to cross them. These old little bridges. But you're talking about the 1800s, 1700s, 1800s when these were built, like. And they didn't actually last that long. You know, like there was kind of a, you know, it was certainly the Silloth line, which this runs out to Silloth. It's the Carlisle and Silloth Bay Railway, I think it was called. And yeah, it was more, certainly the Silloth Bay Railway was more for commuters than anything else, and other things coming from the port, because there's a port in Silloth. But there was a branch off at Drumbrough, which is just about a couple of miles away now, that used to go around to Port Carlisle, to the port that was there. I think it was Carr's Biscuits had something to do with that, or the building of that. You can see this embankment here, and just on the other side of that is where the railway and the canal were. And the Roman wall, I think, ran through the marsh here. Could be wrong, like, but you know, the Roman wall ran along here as well. It's a nice area, this, like. My dog loves it round here, like he does. Nice and quiet, no loud bangs or anything. Yes, he loves it. Well, how much road do you need, pal? And this was also a bombing range, this Solway Estuary there. There's a bombing range, well, there's a couple of bombing ranges, but the one round here, there's actually a great big arrow in the marsh made out of concrete, you know, directing the planes to where the target was. And there's a couple of observation posts still there as well, you know, for the observers observing where the bombs landed and whether they hit the target or not. A little bit of wind today, despite the heat. Where you gone? Where you gone, man? Where you gone? Daft cow. No, I think I'll just stop here quickly, so you can get an idea of where the canal ran from here. Unfortunately, the car park has been blocked up. There's a reason for that. Fucking kids. We've been coming out here to this car park in the cars and listening to loud music, getting drunk, causing all sorts of mayhem. So the villagers decided enough's enough, close the car park. So that's where the Drumrough railway station used to be. In fact, it was an island station, and the spur to the right, or to our left, that ran off to Port Carlisle, and then the other spur ran up behind the village here and up to Kirkbride and on to Silloth. So you can kind of see where the canal and the old dandy, as they called it, used to go off to Port Carlisle. And it was horse drawn initially, and I think they had locomotives pulling them as well eventually. All the sand, Solway Estuary. You actually get a bit of a bore coming up. You know, when the tide turns, you get like a ripple. It's not like the Severn bore, like it's not as big as that, but it's interesting to see. I've got a video of that somewhere on YouTube on one of my different channels. I'll maybe try and put that up just to show you that. Worth seeing. Anyway, or at least I'll put a link in the description to it, whatever. So yeah, that's Drumrough. There's actually a castle here. Well, it's called Drumrough Castle, but it's actually a farmhouse which is fortified, like a lot of farmhouses were around here, like it has to be said, you know, being so close to Scotland and what have you. The reavers and all that thing, the border reavers. I'll point that as we're going by. And this is it on the left here. Oh, there's an old car. Is it? No, it's a van. There you go. Call that Drumrough Castle Farm. We're coming up onto Glasson shortly. We won't actually be driving into Glasson. Might come through it on the way back, like. This is where I normally park, just on the right here, waiting to come to walk the dog. You've got all that sand for him to run about on when the tide's out. Right, next stop, Port Carlisle. As you can see by these signs, when there's a spring tide, the road often gets covered by the tide. And that's Port Carlisle there. That's the quayside, or what's left of it anyway. Wish these lights would hurry up, eh, honestly. Like, even during my lifetime, that has decayed quite badly. I don't know, I wonder if his mother knows he's fucking driving a car like that. And just on the right here, you can see that hedge there. Well, just on the other side of that is the footpath, and there's also the canal, or what's the remains of the canal. And the footpath is actually the path of the Dandy, or the railway if you like, or the railway spur. Now this is the village of Port Carlisle. Nice little village this. Very rustic. Access no vehicles. I thought you were allowed to go down there. I'll just pop it over where these drains are, and then I'll have a walk down. Not very flat, is it? Right, I'll have a walk down to the canal, and I'll see you in a moment. So that's the quay there, and that's where the bigger ships would come in, dock up, and then goods would be unloaded onto the quay, and then loaded onto the canal barges. These pylons that you can see running out there, that was actually for the liners to come in and take passengers. But, this is where the canal is here, as you can see. Not a great deal left of it, it has to be said. Yeah, it's looking a bit rough. It's even, like I say, this is even you know, decayed since I was a kid. Like I've been on there many a time, but even recently, you know, me and the dog have walked along the sand and stuff, and you know, the back of it is just almost gone, like, and there's some bollards there that are just they're granite, like, made out of granite, and they're massive, absolutely massive, bigger than me. You know, the part that was, you know, sunk into the ground, bigger than me. But that's the canal basin there. There the barges would be parked up and stuff. Oh, pussycat. Yeah, there. Yeah, interesting stuff, like. I don't suppose this would have lasted more than 100 years before it became defunct. Maybe even less than that, until the railway came, like. And obviously somebody thought it was a good idea to you know, to have a port here. Of course, Carlisle was a reasonably large textile centre, and we made biscuits as well, apparently. So we'll head back to the bike and then we'll go on for another ride to the next point of interest. Somebody's having a barbecue. You can't beat a barbecue on a nice warm day. So next place we're going is Bowness-on-Solway. Well, Bowness-on-Solway actually has a bit of a claim to fame, in that it is the point where there used to be a viaduct, a rail viaduct, across the Solway to Scotland, mainly for the transport of iron ore from the Cumberland mines up to Ayrshire. You can actually kind of see it from here now, on the Scots side there. Like I say, this is Bowness-on-Solway. This is where the Hadrian's Wall walk ends as well. Village. I need to look for somewhere to park up along here, because I've never actually had a walk onto this or what remains of this structure. see it jutting out there. Like I say, there's not a lot that remains of it. Mainly the parapet at either end there. I think this is where you can park up. Could be wrong. Oh, here you have it. This is the viaduct, or what's left of it anyway. You can maybe see it on the other side of the Solway there. There's the other end of it still there. Not much of it left though. Mind you, haven't said that. There's a huge amount of stone, sandstone. That's took a battering there, I know, hasn't it? Fantastic, like. Yeah, it's quite a walk along here actually. I was quite surprised how long it is. I haven't a clue what this is. Looks like a wood chipper or something. Anyway. Yes. Not looking too safe anymore neither, is it? Fantastic though, engineering. And when was it built? It was the mid-1700s anyway. Mid-1800s, sorry. Mid-1800s, about 1860, something like that. It did get destroyed though by ice, or damaged should I say, in 1879 was it? 1859, 1861? Something like that. I don't know. It only lasted a few years anyway. It was closed in 1931. Totally closed to all traffic. But like I say, it was just mainly used for getting the iron ore from the Cumberland mines to Ayrshire steel mills. And it was a bit of a shortcut apparently to go across here. Quite a way to walk along here. I was quite surprised actually how long this is. You know, the bike's way back there. I hope it's still there. Anyway, so I'll put a few dates up because I can't remember them. I know it closed in 1931, but when it was built I can't remember. But it was only a few years after it was built, maybe 10 years, where it had its first damage by ice in, I think it was 1876, and then it was damaged again in 1881, and it was pretty much beyond repair. You know, they wouldn't let passengers use it, put it that way. I think that's the Isle of Man over there, I think. I could be wrong, like. Maybe Kishore. Anyway. Well, that was very interesting. For me anyway. I've never actually been out on that structure. I'll tell you what, the view from the road doesn't do it justice. It's massive, quite awe-inspiring. Say to them Victorians, who were mental. That's just, I was thinking that was the Isle of Man, but I don't know what I was thinking there. That's just Criffel and Dumfries and Galloway. So from here the roads get progressively worse. There's one particular bit where you go past a farm where it's just unbelievable. Like, remember on the push bike it used to be hellish. Yeah, quite an amazing structure that. Quite an amazing structure. It was a total failure really, you know. It goes from here and winds up, eventually winds up at Annan, and then gets onto the Caledonian Railway there, or is it the Caledonian? Right, it'll go on to the West of Scotland line that heads up to Stranraer first, like, but probably at Dumfries it'll go up towards the onto the Caledonian line, and then on to Ayrshire, of course, as was. And to be quite honest, it's not a very big shortcut when you think that Carlisle's only what, 10 miles away, 15 miles away from here. A big railway junction in its day. And the West of Scotland line runs off that, so off the West Coast main line, that is. The next thing we're going to look at is Anthorn Masts. It used to be a naval station in the war, and just after the war, which I think closed down in 1953. So that wasn't open long neither. Is the gate open? Looks open. Oh, they've put a new cattle grid in here. That's a bit better, like. You used to have to get out your car or off your bike or whatever and open the gate, close it behind you. Yeah, closed in 53, and then it was turned over to this VLF radio station in, I think, 1964. Yeah, I was born actually. Yes, I am that old. It's got the VLF and the LF for the submarines. It's also it's also got, is it 4 nuclear clocks, something like that, work off the movement of the earth and what have you. So all your time comes from here, people. Yeah, but as I say, it was a naval air station before that. Royal Naval Air Station Anthorn, or HMS Nuthatch. There's not a lot of it left, but there is 1 or 2 little pieces, little buildings here and there. And a lot of the buildings in Anthorn, a lot of the houses are actually officers' quarters there. So still a little bit of the air station there, but not a lot. There's the masts there. This village we're coming up to, this is Drumbruff. Not Drumbruff. What's it called again? Oh god, eh? We're about to find out anyway. Cardurnick. That's it. I should remember this, like, 'cause I used to always bring the dog out here to walk him on the sands here when I first adopted him. Give him a good run on the sands. On the right hand side here you'll see a bunch of firing butts, test firing butts, and I think there's 5 or 6 of them still in position. There's one there, and there's 2 actually in the airfield that you can't get to, but there's 3 along this road, and there's loads of them because Royal Naval Air Station Anthorn was actually a receipt and well, it was a receipt station, you know what I mean. The aircraft, predominantly Chancevort Corsairs, for the aircraft carriers, and Seafires, like a Spitfire but for the sea. Not literally for the sea, but you know what I mean. They were all set up here with whatever weapons, you know, and you know, they were going to be using, and you know, so there's stuff on the airfield still, you know, like the compass bases where they'd set up the compasses for the type of weapons that they were using, you know. You know, because obviously if you've got bombs under your wings, you know, you're going to get deflection from the metal, magnetic deflection that is. So, you know, things like compasses and stuff needed to be set up, radios and all that sort of carry on was set up here. And just along here there's also a standby house next to one of the test firing butts, if I remember rightly. Yeah, just here. Can't actually see it for the yeah, for the briars here. Let's have a little stop here, eh? There you go. Big test firing butt. What they did with these is they used to sit the aircraft over there somewhere, not too far away, and then fire the guns into it. And there'd be sand and stuff in there and targets, and they'd train the guns, you know, so that they're met at a certain distance from the plane. Amazing stuff. And you can see the masts there, fucking massive. Like I say, that was for submarines during the Cold War. Still used today though. Still used for the clocks, and I think they're still used for the submarines. I could be wrong though. Anyway, I'll head off to what's gonna call it. I'm not sure about whether there was an air station here before the Royal Naval Air Station or not. I think that there might have been. I think it might have been an RAF station prior to, but I'm not 100% sure of that, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, and this is Morecambe Bay, not to be confused with Morecambe Bay. This is Morecambe Bay, also known as Hudson Bay, and it's known as Hudson Bay because of the amount of Hudson bombers that went down in it, stationed on Sillith Airfield, which we won't be going to today. So here's Anthorn, and you'll see as we go through this on the left hand side, all these houses here, they're old naval barracks, well I say barracks, but officers' quarters. Well, officers' yeah, officers' quarters. That's what I'm on about. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I've had a walk up onto where there's some more buildings up this path here, and there's some more old buildings further up on the bank there, over there. There's also supposed to be a tower around here somewhere that is one of the places where Mary Queen of Scots first holed up when she came across the Solway to England. Although she was imprisoned in Carlisle Castle for a short time, I'm sure there's a tower. She was probably, I don't know, a watchtower I suppose, where she was first sort of picked up. Anyway, bit of history for you. I'm still quite taken with the size of that bloody viaduct, eh? Must have took some building that, like. Must have took some building. Well, I dare say before I make this video way longer than it needs to be, I might as well say me ta-das, or my goodbyes, my au revoirs, etc, etc. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. So if you've been watching, it's been much appreciated. Hit the like button if you like the video, and if you don't like it, fair enough, makes the odds. But subscribe, whatever you do, subscribe. I want subscribers. I want them now. So I think I've only got 30 subscribers at the last count. I'm starting to get the message, I think. Anyway, so as I say, take care, ride safely, and be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Adios. Peace.